Before I begin, I want to take the opportunity to thank first all the administration who helped pull this evening together. Estelle and Yisrael were working on the posters, helping with the slideshow, the food outside, and the wine. For those of you who are partaking of the wine, I hope you're not driving. Sorry, I'm a teacher, I have to say that. And also Zavit put together the charcuterie boards, so thank you also. And before I forget, because I will forget at the end, I also wanted to take the opportunity to thank my wife for putting up with all the stress that's been in the house for the last 3 days while I prepared for tonight. Okay. It is really an honor to be able to stand up here 6 months into my tenure as the head of school and to try to share with you a little bit of the things that happen, some things you know about, some things you don't know about, the state of the school, as one of my friends was trying to get me to say at the beginning, so now it'll be on the recording. The state of the school is strong. I just had to get it out of my system. But in all seriousness, we're going to reflect tonight on the journey of San Diego Hebrew Day and look ahead to the future. It's not just a report. This is a celebration of the school, of our students, of our families, of our faculty, of our staff, and our mission. I want to frame tonight really in the light of two ideas that are really one. And that is this week's Parsha, we read Parshas Yisro, is the seminal event in Jewish history. This is it. We stand around Har Sinai as a nation, and we are the only people who have even a claim to a mass revelation. That mass revelation at Har Sinai was not just about receiving commandments, do or don't do. It was about transmitting identity, about ensuring that each generation would carry forward the values that Hashem gave us to be our values, and a closeness to a loving God, to Hashem, who expressed that love at a pinnacle of experience of the intimacy of revelation. On a smaller level, this is what we ask our children to experience every day at Hebrew Day. We on this side, not just you, the parents, are not just educators. We're facilitators of Jewish continuity, leadership, and excellence. Every day, our students, they stand at their own Har Sinai as they learn all of the subjects that we teach and integrate them into an understanding of how God runs the universe. Whether it's mastering Chumash, whether it's learning Aleph Bet, whether it's mastering a difficult math problem, or discovering joy in the giving of chesed to a friend or to a stranger. Our job here at Hebrew Day is to inspire them, to strengthen them, and to elevate them, and to elevate each child from where they are to their next step, ensuring that when they leave the halls of Hebrew Day, they're not only prepared for academic success, but that they're deeply connected to their heritage, to their mission, to their responsibility to the Jewish people. And we do that in all the things that we do, and particularly through the 4 L's that some of you have heard me speak about several times already this year. We want them to know, not just understand, but to know and to feel that Hashem loves them. Your job is to make sure that their parents they know that their parents love them, that their teachers love them, they see them, they understand them. And with all of that, they'll have a love of learning that will send them off on a journey that doesn't end when they finish going to school. But it's a lifelong journey of learning. There's always more to know. There's always more to understand. Just like we hope that they'll understand when in every relationship that they have, there's more to learn about the person that they're in that relationship, whether it's family or it's their spouse or it's their children. there's always more to learn in the relationship with Hashem as well. That leads us into some of the beginnings of what I'd like to speak about. At the core of our mission is a commitment to providing authentic Torah education. That went too far. Sorry. Making it accessible and meaningful to every Jewish family in San Diego. We believe that Torah is not just a subject, it's the essence of Jewish education. Our students are not simply memorizing information, they're living Torah values, shaping their identity, and building their relationship with Hashem. From the first moment a child enters our preschool, they begin to experience Torah in a hands-on, developmentally appropriate way. Parsha-related projects, Shabbat parties. You should see how some of those princesses come in dressed for Shabbat party. Holiday experiences from their earliest form their earliest Jewish memories. As students advance, they engage in rigorous text-based learning, mastering Chumash, delving into Navi, exploring Mishnah and Talmud. Every level fosters a deep and lasting connection to Torah, to Judaism, and to Hashem. We start the morning when you walk the halls in the school, you can hear the heartfelt tefillah in every classroom, whether it's here in the Beit Midrash with the middle school boys, or it's upstairs with the middle school girls, we'll come back to that in a moment, or it's every individual classroom. The davening, they learn that davening, that prayer is not just a routine, but it's a dialogue with Hashem. It's an opportunity to reinforce our values of gratitude, of humility and responsibility. This year, to make it more meaningful, we introduced a new program for the middle school girls. The middle school girls are now davening with Mara Malka Weiser. It's this special tefillah experience led by her, designed to deepen their understanding of davening and enhance their personal connection to Hashem. Through meaningful discussions, guided reflection, the girls have expressed a greater sense of kavanah, of intent, and spiritual engagement in their daily prayers. This year, we've seen tremendous growth in Hebrew reading skills. A group of third graders, for example, who were previously receiving resource support with Rabbi Michaels, graduated from the program. That graduation was coordinated by Rabbi Ertel, spearheaded, making them feel that they had really accomplished something, to make them proud of what they had done when they reached their grade level proficiency. This is a testament to our data-driven, individualized approach to language learning. To help in this as well, you can see on many of these posters, but specifically I'd like to point out the milestone events that happen over the course of the year here in Hebrew Day. On your way out, make sure you take a look at all of these posters if you didn't see them, but you can see here clockwise, second grade Chumash party presentation, the seventh grade restaurant, the in-school bar mitzvah and bat mitzvah program, which we started this year, Rabbi Ertel and I coordinated, as close to the Hebrew birthday of any bar or bat mitzvah student in the school. We present them with a certificate signed by myself, Rabbi Ertel, and Rabbi Hollander for the boys, and by Mora Malko for the girls, and we give them a book on Pirkei Avot as well, and give them the opportunity to dance with their friends here in school, to experience the excitement of becoming a bar bat mitzvah. Some of the parents have started bringing donuts, don't tell the nutrition committee, as a way to celebrate. Here we have the fifth grade Exodus 360. I'm still looking forward to seeing this one. I haven't had to see it yet. And just 2 days ago, we had the Siddur party. Yesterday. It feels like 2 days ago. Just yesterday, we had the first grade Siddur party that Mara Ramit so beautifully put together. These are all part of the experiences that our kids and we will remember as they get older. Moisés was just pointing out, it really does go by in the blink of an eye. Speaking as a grandparent, it goes by really quickly. And what you'll remember are these beautiful moments and the opportunities to celebrate these with your children. This past year has been a time of transition, growth, and vision building for the school. Our leadership team has been working strategically to strengthen operations, improve communication, and chart a course for the future. To begin, before I speak about any of the things that we've started to accomplish, I'd like to take the time to really express a special thank you to Moises Eilenberg, our dedicated president of the board, who's going to kill me for this, but his leadership and commitment have been instrumental in guiding our school forward. One of the most important steps we've taken is strengthening our communication by implementing Parent Square. Parent Square is a centralized place for you to get everything from the school. You can see the calendar, you can see communications, everything gets pushed out. You can have one app on your phone to get one-stop shopping for all the communications in the school. This system has streamlined school communications and ensuring that no important message is missed being sent out. Cannot help you if you don't read it, that I can help. But we are sending them out. We've also worked on operational improvements. We're currently working on transitioning our re-enrollment and tuition management systems into the FACTS system, which you're all familiar with already. It's how you see grades and things of that like. But with this back-end implementation and staff training in progress, this will create an easier, more automated process for families to re-enroll, to pay for tuition, which will not only improve our efficiency, but also help ensure financial stability. A key goal in the planning for the future is hiring an admissions director, further strengthening enrollment efforts and family engagement, having someone dedicated who will communicate with the community at large, to go to preschools, to go out and find new families and recruit them, to help them through the process as they express interest in the school, to have someone whose sole mission is making sure that we stay strong in numbers, not just strong in spirit. We also are working at solidifying the development office, refining the structure and strategy of our development office, ensuring financial stability for the school moving forward. And we look to also expand our focus on student well-being. One of the hopes for the future and the plans for the future would be hiring a director of wellness. This would be one of, in my opinion, one of the most exciting new initiatives that we would embark on. This role would expand and deepen our social emotional learning, which Mr. Weiser is so deeply involved in, with the 300 million other things that we're constantly asking him to do. And it would help us expand that across all grades. In the Torah, we're commanded, "V'nishmartem me'od lenafshosechem." We're to take care, to watch over our well-being, both physically and emotionally, not just spiritually. We know that caring for ourselves is not only a value, but a responsibility, and our school is taking proactive steps to support our students in this essential way. A comprehensive SEL program is crucial in a school setting because it equips students with essential life skills like self-awareness, self-management, social awareness, relationship skills, responsible decision-making, and integrating SEL into every grade, social emotional learning into every grade, will improve students' mental health, reduce behavioral issues, strengthen peer relationships, ensure students have the emotional tools to navigate social situations effectively, and it also improves their academic prowess. When kids are happy, they learn better. When they know how to handle when they're not happy, they learn better. In a world that presents countless pressures and uncertainties, giving our students resilience is a key aspect of what a school needs to do. They shouldn't need safe spaces when they get to college. They should learn how to self-regulate. Moving on. Academic excellence and student achievements. Our students are excelling academically across all subjects. The school implemented last year MAP testing. We do it 3 times a year. The first time gives us a baseline for where the student is in September. The second test in the middle of the year gives us an idea of what we're accomplishing with them. Are we being successful? And how to make mid-course corrections. And the end of the year gives us an idea of what we did. The school saw double-digit growth in scores across the school, particularly in math and middle school English. These are significant tests. MAP testing is done across the country. These are significant tests. I know these are a little bit confusing because you've never seen these types of bar graphs before, but the school, for example, in regular education, 63rd percentile in growth. That just means that we're doing well above average. 50th percentile would be average, well above average in helping our kids grow through the year. We went from 71st percentile in actual achievement to 79th in overall growth.
Is it all grades or?
That's all grades. There we go. That's all grades. That's how you would read these charts. We take this data seriously. Estelle takes this data, breaks it down, it's broken down per student, meets with every teacher and goes over every student's scores to look at how are we doing? How is this student doing? Are they growing at the rate that they can? What do we need to do to make sure that they're achieving? Whether the child is an ELL, English language learner, so English as a second language, has an IEP, an independent education program, or is excelling on either end. This is happening on an ongoing basis. It happens throughout the year, constant checking. In science and mathematics, our students continue to place, for example, in the San Diego County Science Fair, and have even competed at the California State Science Fair. On the Judaic side, we've also implemented standardized testing. Some of you are aware that we did the JSAT testing this year. JSAT is a relatively new test coming out of the East Coast, Jewish Standardized Achievement Test. We did it this year for 4th, 6th, and 8th graders at the beginning of the year, because it's really a 3rd, 5th, and 7th grade test. At the end of the year, we'll do it with the 3rd, 5th, and 7th graders. We're using this as a baseline to help us with our curricular focus, to understand where we are achieving, where we're succeeding, and where the gaps are in our curriculum to help make sure that our students leave with the appropriate day school education that could be expected anywhere in the country. Rabbi Ertel has been having those meetings one-on-one with teachers, going over the scores with the same intensity to make sure that we see where students are, where our curriculum is, and where we need to pick up on. We're expanding our focus on executive functioning skills. Ms. Medina spends 3 weeks at the beginning of the year with the entire middle school. Not the entire 3 weeks, but she spends over the first 3 weeks with the middle schoolers, helping them with organization, note-taking, time management, studying strategies. And now that we're halfway into the year, and of course they're middle schoolers, we're reinforcing those skills by reminding them of what that means and what they need to do so that they're ready to move on to high school, where no one's going to be reminding them that they need to take notes. They're just going to be expected to have those notes. And no one's going to remind them that, oh, you don't have your notebook? Oh, go back and get it, my young one. Like, that's not going to happen in high school. So we're preparing them with executive functioning skills. Beyond test scores, we celebrate moments like a struggling reader who, after months of hard work, now reads fluently, or a student who discovered a love for STEM through hands-on learning while studying with Julie Rivard in her innovation lab. Where our students go is important to understand and to measure the success of a school when we look at where they go and where they graduate from. At San Diego Hebrew Day, our students leave prepared for excellence, not only academically, but as committed, knowledgeable, and responsible Jewish individuals. The basis of how a young adult does in high school and college begins with a solid foundational education, with a sense of values and identity. That starts in elementary school and preschool, elementary school, and middle school. Those foundations are laid from the infant room through 8th grade. It doesn't pick up in high school, it doesn't end in high school, but that's where you see the foundations of it. Our graduates have gone on to attend top universities, prestigious yeshivas and seminaries, and enter fields where they make a difference in the world. You can see here is just some of the yeshivas and seminaries that our students go on to, and some of the prestigious universities that our students go on to and have graduated from. Both lists were too long to put on 2 slides. I mean, I could have just given you a list and then you would have all come up, some of you with reading glasses like me, and gone like this to read it. So we just put a few. These are just a few of those of our success stories. Our graduates are found in a wide range of fields, from business to medicine, from education to technology, and in, as we say in Hebrew, in Klei Kodesh. As rabbis and rebbitzins, as teachers, as community leaders. They hold leadership positions in Jewish communal organizations, serve in various roles supporting Israel, and are actively engaged in strengthening Jewish life. And some, as you'll remember from the gala this last year, it was actually there, so I know. And some are in the IDF, are actively serving in the IDF, or in the reserves. This is the impact of a Hebrew Day education, producing graduates who are not only well educated, but deeply connected to their identity, their community, and their mission in the world. Our school doesn't operate in isolation. It's part of a larger network of excellence in Jewish and general education. We're proud to be affiliated with and accredited by prestigious organizations that uphold the highest standards of education and Jewish learning. Our accreditation, Western Association of Schools and Colleges, WASC, and California Association of Independent Schools, we just went through the main accreditation last year. I'm sure you've heard this already because we're wiser. I think I heard it 30 times in the first week I was back in school. But we did achieve the highest level of accreditation, a 6-year accreditation. We even made it into a poster, which is sitting outside. You can see it. But that is a prestigious accreditation. The double accreditation is actually harder than just getting WASC. In Los Angeles, most Jewish schools only do WASC. They don't do CASE. So I think I'm the only person on the planet who calls it CASE, but CAIS. We collaborate with very important organizations that help us make sure that we're on the right track. Whether it's the Consortium of Jewish Day Schools, which is a national organization of Jewish day schools that provides services like individual coaching for administration and teachers, or our Judaic curriculum, Lahavin Lahaskil, comes from the consortium, or Prisma, which is the national network of Jewish day schools, which tries to strengthen Jewish education across North America, or the Wellness Institute, which is a Jewish educational organization dedicated to filling mental wellness gaps with resources and education for parents, educators, and youth. And then closer to home, Fuel Ed, I see a smile, which has helped us with some of our professional development and implementing a really important empathy program for our teachers and faculty, and continuing to help us to learn how to educate in that way. Or, do you pronounce it Liderado? Liderado. Just wanted to make sure. You had to keep the Latino going in there, right? So Liderado Academy, which is a leadership research-backed transformational professional learning that unlocks educators' ability to build secure relationships so teaching and learning can thrive. And Yigal and also Megan have helped us throughout this year, and we look forward to working with you into the future. Being part of these organizations ensures that our curriculum, faculty development, and school operations meet the highest benchmarks of excellence. These partnerships also allow us to bring innovative programs, best practices, and strong leadership to our school, ensuring that San Diego Hebrew Day continues to grow, thrive, and lead. One of our missions and goals this year was to acknowledge that a school is not just about students, it's about the entire community. This year, we've made it a priority to strengthen partnerships between parents, teachers, and administration. To begin with, I'd like to take a moment to thank our incredible teachers. Their dedication, passion, and commitment to our students is the heart of the school. I'd like to ask all the teachers who are here tonight to please stand. If you don't stand, I'll sing really loud. It'll only make it worse. I'd also like to take this opportunity to thank our administration, including Estelle Workman, our principal, and Rabbi Ertel, our Judaic Studies coordinator, for their leadership and dedication. The school literally would fall apart if they were not doing this. Our Parent-Teacher Association is playing a bigger role than ever before in this year, organizing events, supporting school initiatives, and fostering a sense of community. A huge thank you to Chaya Noriani, Yael Levy, and Hagar Maman for leading our PTA initiatives, including thank you. Including the fun run, Hanukkah decorations, the Hanukkah boutique, and helping us especially with the upcoming Mishloach Manot. Don't forget to order. The wellness of our parents impacts the wellness of our students. For this, we thank Sharon Heifetz for teaching our wellness classes. We hope to expand our efforts to bring quality adult programming to our families. Yisrael's, instead of having the clap, applause sign on top of my head, so Mr. Weiser is just reminding me by going like this right before so I should pause. Yeah. It's one of the many jobs he does in the school. We hope to launch in the near future, it might not be until next year, Learn in Latte classes and offering Torah learning sessions or somewhere around drop-off and pick-up times for parents. Again, making this a place where parents can come in, feel comfortable, learn a little bit of Torah, socialize with each other, and strengthen those connections. In order to help with the challenges of finding new families and raising awareness, that Hebrew Day is the warm, special place we all love, we formed a marketing and recruitment committee this year, led by Jen Lerner, to develop new outreach strategies. We're in the process of developing new marketing materials to help us explain who we are and why we're different in a way that pops off the page or the screen, wherever it's going to be applied to. We've been meeting with community leaders to raise awareness and increase enrollment. For example, one key result of these efforts has been the formation of a never-before-attempted program that we are participating in that really was the outgrowth of a meeting here at Hebrew Day of community leaders called Pathways to Jewish Education, and it will be held at the JCC. We will be presenting about San Diego Hebrew Day alongside with other Jewish day schools in the city to raise awareness about Jewish education and to show parents who we are and what their choices are when they live here in San Diego. I'd like to offer a special thank you to Anthony Ortiz and Megan Camaras. I always want to call you Marcus, that's okay, who have been working with me on the enrollment process for new families. Those literally weekly meetings have been ensuring that every prospective family sees our best face and feels welcomed all the way through the process. There's always a little someone noticing somebody, yeah. At San Diego Hebrew Day School, we're committed to developing the whole child, academically, emotionally, and spiritually. Special shout out again to Mr. Weiser, our Director of School Culture, who's been leading our Midos and SEL initiatives. So here is an example of our Successful Me. Successful Me is, of course, the program where we introduce a Midah, a character trait for the month. And then at the end of the month at the Rosh Chodesh program, at the Rosh Chodesh Assembly, we recognize and the distinguished students who represent that midah and have acted in accordance with that midah throughout the month, all nominated by their teachers who see them for many, many hours and get to see exactly who they are. If you'd like to see, in the back, over in the common area where the kindergarten, first grade, all that area, there's a beautiful bulletin board with pictures of this Successful Me Rosh Chodesh Assembly winners, pictures of all of them with their certificates that they've gotten. In the middle school, did I get the right word? In the middle school, they move over to the ACE program, encouraging them to volunteer in leadership positions for the community, whether it be hours here in the school or hours anywhere, but they have hours that they have to volunteer in order to help others and do chesed, showing kindness, respect, and responsibility. This year, we introduced and launched a new initiative to help students appreciate the diversity within the Jewish people, fostering respect, unity, and empathy. Students explored socioeconomic, political, and religious adversity in the Ethiopian Jewish experience. As you can see, or maybe not in the pictures, the entire administration was involved in presenting to the students, presenting to them in a way that made it clear just how important it is for us to understand someone else's experience, to try to see where they're coming from, to empathize with their historical, socioeconomical, political experiences. Next up, by the way, the Mexican Jewish community. Students are encouraged to take on leadership roles, mentorship opportunities, and community service projects, ensuring that they become upstanding and outstanding Jews. Before moving on to the next section, I did want to just draw your attention to some of the other posters that were made specifically for tonight, but highlight the things that happen in the school. Here we have our curriculum-based field trips, whether it's 6th grade STEM camp on Catalina Island, which is an overnight, or Day of Giving coming up this year, where everyone will be involved in some chesed opportunity, where many of them will go off campus as a class to go be involved with some organization that they're going to be helping others with. The Besamim Shabbaton for 7th and 8th graders, the Star of India overnight, which I really want to go on, but I don't know if there's room for it. So, my wife wants to go on the STEM camp trip, by the way, just letting you know, yeah. The 8th grade Israel trip, which I am going on this year as a third chaperone, to have an idea of just how wonderful this trip is that I've heard so much about. And I thought it was Roar and Snore, but apparently it's the overnight at the safari park.
It is Roar and Snore.
Oh, that's what I thought.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
You're confusing me with these things. Those are all curriculum-based, appropriate trips based on something they're learning at the time in the classroom that then they can go and experience in a hands-on experience. We know we celebrate the Chagim here, all the Jewish holidays, the track and field Lag BaOmer, the Generations Day Fair on Hanukkah, the Megillah dance on Purim, Yom HaAtzmaut, the Pesach experience, and the Tishrei Fair. All interactive learning experiences, in many of them, our middle schoolers are teaching our elementary schoolers about what they know about the holiday that they can share. And lastly, our showcase events. So one side of the curriculum and the other side of the curriculum. We go from top clockwise, the 4th grade Gold Rush play, the 8th grade Science Fair, the 2nd grade Animal Fair, the 8th grade graduation, 5th grade Poetry Night, 3rd grade Invention Convention, and this year there'll be a 7th grade and 8th grade Poetry Night as well. Now to the less exciting but no less important. Financial stability in the school remains a priority. With high housing costs in San Diego, hiring and retaining teachers, both Judaic and secular, remains a challenge. We are exploring creative solutions and community partnerships to try to address this. Can't share more than that. Everything's in the beginning stages, but I'll just tell you, I have a meeting with some community leaders, actually in the next week and a half, specifically to try to come up with creative ideas to help us with this challenge. The transition to fax has allowed us to automate financial processes, making tuition management simpler for families and more sustainable for the school. We hope to expand that automation and that efficiency, making payments easier and more automated so that you're less bothered and we're less strapped. Enrollment and retention. While enrollment remains strong, retention is a serious challenge in Southern California, and San Diego is not the exception. Southern California's, all of California's economic climate has made it difficult to retain families. We have families that have left in the middle of this year. We have families we know are leaving at the end of the year. And even though we've had many families apply and enroll, that balance is very difficult to keep. And as you can see, enrollment has declined primarily from families moving out of town. You can see that in these numbers here on the left. And in 2020-21, we did implement a new simplified tuition policy aimed at improving affordability. And this has reduced the need for financial assistance, but the levels still remain high, as you can see on this right. You can see the net tuition. Oops. If I know how to use this, better be in a better shape. Net tuition and scholarships and discounts are in the light blue. And you can see there where the gap is. Right? That's the dark blue is what's coming in. The light blue is what we're offering as financial assistance.
Gotcha. Sorry, can you go back to that for one moment?
Sure. If I can. There we go. What you do see is that even though enrollment has gone down, the net tuition has stayed roughly the same, but of course our expenses have gone up as well. Tuition, net of scholarships, makes up less than 60% of the school's income. That's an important number to be aware of. We're providing $1.9 million in financial assistance. In order to balance the budget, that would require raising $1.4 million in fundraising. I have to pause and thank Rabbi Weiser, Joyce Arovas, and Ellie Levine for restructuring the development office and spearheading all of our fundraising events and solicitations this year. They are why the doors are still open. If you wanted to look at the numbers here, so fundraising including the scholarship fund, we're renaming the development fund the scholarship fund to make it more clear what that development fund is. It is the optional fee after you pay tuition, if you're paying full tuition, to help fill this gap, to keep the scholarships flowing so that every Jewish child in San Diego has the opportunity to have a Jewish education. This is the expenses.
You didn't touch it.
I didn't even touch it this time. Okay, I'm gonna stand all the way over here. The bar on top are our expenses. On the bottom, you can see our income, other net tuition, fundraising. The red is the gap, the anticipated gap for this year to try to balance the budget. As Rabbi Weiser has said to me many times this year, it always works out. That's his bitachon and Hashem. I can't, it's trust in God. But this is where we are. And on that note, please make every effort to attend and support the gala this year on May 18th, 2025, where we'll be honoring Rabbi Weiser and Yibadol L'chaim honoring Rebbetzin Weiser's memory as a show of gratitude for over 4 decades of service to this community and to this school in particular. Just to give you an idea of where we stand relative to the other 2 schools in the community, it's amazing what you can find if you know which websites to look at, even though they try to hide it. So here are our tuition, those are our tuition costs, $19,850 for next year. You already know that the cost of tuition has gone up for next year. With the increase, everything has gone up. We try to run an event or a trip that we've run in past years. We're looking at a trip could be almost 50% more than it was last year, with just to cover costs.
There's actually 50% more.
50% more just to cover costs. You're feeling it when you go to the supermarket. Well, we feel it in here too. It doesn't change. But if you look at the numbers, so in the preschool, we're roughly in the same ballpark. If you look of Chabad, not even close with the academy. And as you go through, we're far lower than any of the other schools in our tuition costs. We're trying to make it as affordable as we can for everyone to get a Jewish education. This is just another opportunity for you to understand how we spend our money. You can see that 74% of our budget is salaries. 7% supplies, technology, and vendors. 11% keeping the building going. 3% fundraising. You have to spend money to make money. And 5% other, could be, paying the lights. I don't know what that other is exactly.
Wine for them.
What was that?
Wine for them.
The wine. The wine was donated.
The wine for them.
Now more than ever, though, we must double down on our commitment to Jewish day school education. At a time when Jewish communities worldwide are facing unprecedented challenges, the role of Jewish day schools has never been more critical. New research from Prisma confirms what those of us in the field have known for a long time. Jewish day school alumni are significantly more engaged in Jewish life, more connected to Israel, and more likely to stand up as leaders in the communities. 81% of day school alumni on college campuses say Jewish identity is very important to them. That's compared to 35% who did not attend Jewish day schools. When we go through, day school alumni are more than twice as likely, 81%, to say Jewish identity is very important to them compared to those who did not attend day school, 35%. 55% of Jewish day school alumni feel very close to the Jewish community right now compared to 19% of Jewish college students who did not attend Jewish day school. I just saw a statistic that the intermarriage rate is up to 64%, and that somewhere close to 80% of Jews are completely unaffiliated. We're not talking about what affiliation, completely unaffiliated. 4 times more Jewish college students who attended Jewish day school feel a strong connection to Israel at 61%, compared to those who didn't attend Jewish day school at 16%. 77% of Jewish day school alumni report feeling connected to Israel, compared to 38% of Jewish college students who did not attend day school. And 53% of Jewish day school alumni attend Jewish events and programming once a week or more on campus. If you want to hear more about this, you can just ask Rabbi Ertel what he's seeing on UCSD, compared to just 23% of their peers who did not attend day school. Twice as many Jewish day school alumni engage in Jewish life on campus regularly than those who did not.
I've seen some things on Pew reports, but where are you getting these figures?
This is from Prisma. They just released these figures from a study
is
that
an
they did.
acronym for.
Prisma is an organization. It's a national organization of Jewish day schools, of all affiliations. YU is part of the Prisma umbrella, and that we are members of Prisma. So I have access to this study. If you go to their website, you can actually read the entire study. These numbers, though, are not just statistics. They represent real people, our future Jewish leaders, and the young men and women who are standing up for our community at this very moment. On college campuses across the country where Jewish students are facing hostility and rising anti-Semitism, it's day school graduates who are leading the charge, armed with knowledge, conviction, and the confidence that comes with a strong Jewish education. There are many anecdotal stories I can tell you of parents who've come to me and told me that their kids are on the public school campus now in high school, and they're experiencing real anti-Semitism, real harshness from what's going on around them. What do all these young Jewish leaders that are standing up have in common? They're products of Jewish day school education. Their schools may have been varied, but the core values were the same. A strong Jewish identity, a deep-rooted connection to Israel, the courage to stand up for what is right, and especially the basis of a Torah education. These are the same values we instill in our students here at San Diego Hebrew Day. Every day, we're shaping the Jewish leaders of tomorrow. The students in our classrooms today are the ones who, in just a few years, really, it'll go by very quickly. They'll be in high school, they'll be in college campuses, they'll be in workplaces, and in leadership roles defending and building the Jewish future. This is why our work here at Hebrew Day is so vital. This is why we must continue to strengthen and grow, because the stakes are too high not to. Investing in the Hebrew Day, whether by enrolling your kids, supporting scholarships, or spreading the word, and everyone here needs to become an ambassador for Hebrew Day. You all know people who fit into the other side of these statistics. They need to understand that if especially, I don't mean to pick on people, but if you're not a Native American, I don't mean that way. If you're not born in the United States, let me say it that way. I've been seeing for 30 years the insistence on thinking that how you grew up outside the United States can happen and be replicated here in the United States. My first job was in Irvine, California. I was 23 years old. A man twice my age walked into my office, sat down at my desk, and started to cry. It was the first time I had really seen an adult male cry. I mean, my father's a Yeki, there's no emotions. So, German Jews, no emotions. Once I got him to calm down, I asked him what was going on, and he said to me, my son, who's 19, freshman in college, just brought home his non-Jewish girlfriend. This was a South African Jew. And I said, you know what? I knew exactly what to tell him. Let's go to the rabbi, because I was the assistant rabbi. He'll tell you what to do. We walked into the rabbi's office, we sat down, and he said to him, calmly, gently, and softly, I've been telling you this for 10 years. In South Africa, you could go to whatever school you wanted because you were only going to school with Jews. And somehow their kids came out with Jewish values. The United States is not South Africa, it's not England, it's not Mexico, it's different here. Every family, no matter how religious they are, can tell you horror stories of things that have happened to them. What we do here is the future of the Jewish people. As we look ahead, we remain committed to inspiring every child and strengthening every heart. 4 L's. Hashem loves them, you love them, we love them, and we want them to love their Judaism and love their learning. Thank you for your support, dedication, and belief in our mission. Together, we're ensuring a vibrant Jewish future, one child at a time. I'm going to open it up to questions if people have questions. Otherwise,